I believe it's recording.
Makanaka, begin first.
All right, so welcome to the second
Try.
attempt to record our first episode of the LyfStory podcast. So, who wants to go first?
Me.
Okay, Makanaka wants to go first. Go on.
My name is Makanaka no Mushonga. I am age 13, and one of my hopes for LyfStory is that it would get on the air and that it would be profitable to all of us and to the people who listen.
My name is Nyasha Hosanna Mushonga. I'm 11 years old, and my hopes for LyfStory is that it will be successful, and that's why I'm here today.
My name is Panashe Mushonga. I am 10 years old, and my hope is that this life story would be successful. I am Tendekai Mushonga. I am age 8, and I hope this will prosper.
Okay.
Tendekai, we're all
Wow.
waiting.
I am Tendekai Mushonga, and I'm age 8. Twin to Tatenda Mushonga. And I hope this will be successful because last time we recorded nothing for 2 hours.
Second attempt.
And guess what? I hope this goes viral.
No.
Well, he
Okay,
did.
Mom and Bubba need to introduce themselves.
Okay,
now.
do you want to go first or do you want to go first?
I am Stephanie Mushonga, and I am 35 years old. Honestly, I don't see myself as a creator, but here I am.
Awesome. Well, I have a saying, and my saying is that creators have the most fun. So, what is it?
Did you just make that up?
No,
Because you're creating
I
things?
didn't make that either. So no, I did not just make it up. I've been saying that to myself for the longest time, almost a year now, that creators have the most fun. Because people who create stuff actually have fun on the journey to creating stuff. And if you're just a consumer, you're gonna spend all your time consuming something that someone else put all their energy into and probably had a lot of fun doing, and probably also learned a lot while they're creating it.
What's your name, age, and what do you hope
Okay,
about
my
life?
name is Kuzivakwashe, Godwill Mushonga, 42 years old. And what I'm hoping to accomplish with you guys is to tell stories. Whatever stories we want to tell, be kind. Whatever stories we want to tell, whether they're about our family, whether they're about things we are learning, like, about history, or stories that we make up. So all of that is what I'm hoping to accomplish.
I'm
with this
also
podcast.
hoping to accomplish the amount of money.
So basically, it's called life story because we're telling the story of our life.
Absolutely. That's where when we're trying to come up with a name for this, we wanted to come up with a name that applied to our lives. So we came up with LyfStory
With a Y.
with a Y. because the,
L-Y-F.
because the other spellings for life were already taken by other people. So
Lyf.
LYF.
STORY.
Exactly.
No I's and E.
No I's, no E's. And
That's how you spell
You
it.
should
the
get
right
rid of
way.
the O and you can be vowelless.
LyfStory. LyfStory. It could be. It can work. It could work. So.
Why don't you don't touch your microphone?
What was that? I had another thought I wanted to share with you guys today about this whole life story thing.
What?
That we should start with the beginning,
I don't know. What's the beginning?
where you and Mom met.
Yeah, we can start there.
Mom, put your headphones on.
She's fine.
Yeah,
Don't be bad.
I
Okay.
I was doing day shift and Mom was doing night shift.
Or was it the other way around?
Do you want to tell the story?
please.
So it
Yes,
can
I
be
can tell the
recorded
story. I've heard it 3 times.
only 3 times.
You mean
Mom.
like 32?
Mom and Bubba know
Mom
by
was
heart.
working night shift, and Bubba was working morning shift.
They
And
met,
they met
in
each
high
other?
school.
No, they didn't. They never even knew each other in high school.
Bubba gave Mom a huge box of perfume. The perfume.
On day one
No.
at the nursing home.
It was at high school.
Let's hear it from
No.
one of the professional parents.
I did not meet your mother in high school.
They met when they were switching.
Shifts.
Yeah.
They met when Mom was leaving and Bubba
And
was
then
coming.
Okay.
didn't Mom switch to morning shift? So they were working alongside each other in the mornings.
Yes. Yes.
Ask
they did.
Mom.
Let's hear it
Oh, yeah.
from Bubba.
I don't know. Something you guys just said. I was working on the day shift. Your mom was working on the night shift. In my mind, it was August 4th of 2004. You can pull up your phone and see if August 4th of 2004 was actually like a Tuesday. Let me see that. I could always say, "Hey, Gogo."
Bubba's on his phone.
I'm trying
He's
to
on
find
that
this date-
every day.
the
He
date.
said he was gonna
Hey,
look
Gogo.
it up.
Stop saying hey, Google.
I guess Gogo does not want to talk to me tonight.
How mean of
You
her.
used her to
What day of the week was August 4th of 2004?
Wednesday.
I was wrong about the Tuesday, but that's what I remember.
It was close. Very
I was close, very close.
to Wednesday.
So I come in on my morning shift, doing rounds. Can't remember the name of the guy who introduced me. It was maybe Gilbert or something.
Gilbert.
I think so.
Gilbert
Does anybody call him Gil?
I
Anyways.
don't know.
or Bert.
And
Or
he's like, I'm gonna
Bertie.
introduce you to whoever's on
This
night
pretty
shift.
young lady with red hair.
He might have said something like that.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. Then I saw your mom and I was like, okay. And then
You fell in love at first sight.
and here we are.
You fell in love at first
15
sight.
years later and some change.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's how we met. Maybe we can tell the story, better next time when it's in context. All right. What else do you wanna start with? Things that we just wanna mention at the beginning.
My twin found a Swiss Army knife in the car.
Well, we're not talking about that.
We're gonna cut that out.
Okay, let's. I know something in my life.
What?
I found a. What are they called?
Speak into your microphone.
red-
Stefan.
red-
His slider.
You don't
I
have to look
found one at the creek, and I held it, and it was a baby.
It was
a
very
nice.
light
Okay, so I think a future episode could be the things you guys like to do. Then you can talk about all your trips to the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we can talk about all the things you've found. So maybe what you can start doing is
Ooh, maybe
writing
in this
down
episode.
writing down the things that you have done at the creek and what you have learned and what you have discovered, and
Then read it.
then we can make an episode out of that. That sounds like a good idea to me.
What if we talk
I
about?
learned something.
Well, I know, like, probably even if I don't remember it.
So I'm gonna do something with you guys before you speak right now, since it's still at the beginning. Before you say something and you're gonna interrupt someone, I want you to say your name. Like you can say, "This is Makanaka." That way, people get used to connecting your name to your voice. People who are going to be listening to our podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we should try to start doing.
This is Tatenda.
Okay, Tatenda, go ahead.
I also learned that some type of caterpillars have legs.
Well, that's for that episode. So we'll talk about
Like,
caterpillars.
Not those stubby legs, long legs.
Okay, all right.
This
Like
is
The daddy long legs.
This is Makanaka.
That is so not
Okay, what's up, Makanaka?
Okay, so I don't remember this, but when I was young, I had the seizure,
Okay.
which is very crucial. It's a very crucial part. I was very young. I was like 1 year old or something.
He brags about
So
that.
I like
do not.
I like that story. This is Baba, by the way. I like that story, and what I think what I think we're gonna end up doing with that story is your mother and I
You were like.
can do an episode where we talk about what it was like to be parents for the first time, and then we can
You should see
like
Mom's face.
well, that's a good episode,
This
right?
is Tatenda.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Tatenda, you have the floor.
Panashe should mention this for herself, but I decided to tell it for him. When he was a baby, he found a beetle and he didn't know what to do with it, so he ate it.
Okay.
I ate a beetle.
This is Tendekai.
Okay.
This is Makanaka interrupting. You should have let Bubba talk.
This is a Tendekai. I actually have two things to say.
Okay.
First, once we got leaves and then put worms in it, and then we ate the worms.
Once we got leaves.
And you should have said second of all, me and my twin were babies. My twin wanted milk, so he was sucking on my forehead.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because there's pictures.
Oh, well, that's enough. That's clear enough.
This is Panashe.
Okay, all right. Panashe wants to chime in.
Well, about LyfStory, I think even though we will be putting our stories on LyfStory, I would sometimes like to just scroll through it because it would be interesting to read the stories I didn't know.
You would like to do what?
Scroll through LyfStory, like so you learn stuff you didn't know.
So what do you mean? Scroll.
Even though we made LyfStory, I would still like to go through it and read its stories.
Oh, you're talking about if we have a LyfStory blog, like on on our LyfStory website.
Yep.
You want to read some of those stories?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of where the dream for LyfStory started anyway for me. Because I have a lot of stories that I've been writing over the years, and I didn't want to just put them out there so you people could read them, which is fine. But I wanted to have you guys maybe ask me questions about the stories, and then we can talk about each story as we do the episode.
This is Tatenda. Hey, this is Tatenda, and Bubba, you've been forgetting to say, this is Bubba.
I think my voice is so noticeable that people will know in no time that I am Baba. So I only said it the one time, but if I have to do it again, I will. But for now, I think people will not be confusing my voice with any one of you guys' voices.
This is Panashe. Oh, and also I've got one more thing to say.
Okay. You're touching your microphone again.
When I was a little kid, I tried climbing up to look at a bird nest, and when I came down, I accidentally disturbed the buff when I was in a tree, and then it pooped on me.
Okay, I think we'll do an episode where we go over all your scars and wounds and your survival stories.
Funny stories.
Yeah, it can be all what you guys think are funny stories, even though every time they were not.
This is Panashe.
Okay, Panashe, go ahead.
Will we be putting our stories on there?
Yes, whatever story we decide to put on there, we can.
I mean, like us kids, if we wrote stories that are
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think I would like that too, because the stories that you guys will be writing, they will still be part of our overall story. So whatever stories you guys write or make up, we can think of LyfStory as maybe two things. I know Panashe is talking about the LyfStory website where we have the stories typed up and we post them, but this podcast is also part of LyfStory. So LyfStory is gonna be the podcast that we're doing is also gonna be the stories that we just type up and post on the website to the website.
This is Makanaka. So there are some crucial moments in our lives. What are some of the moments that you in your life, Bubba, that you would describe as like crucial?
Okay, well, your life, all 13 years of it, you have some crucial moments, and we'll be discussing those. I think one of my biggest stories that I want to talk about it's gonna be just albinism in general, and also specific to how I look at it and some of the stories that I've been told. Like my mother told me many stories about albinism, the history of albinism in our family. So that is something that that is something that I want to explore with you guys. I also want to talk about maybe coming to America and what that was like. I think at some point we're gonna have to talk about you guys being black in America or mixed in America or in mixed in general. I think those are big stories that we will have to discuss.
But none of this makes any sort of sense because the people listening cannot see us. So it would be worth mentioning that you are from Zimbabwe and you are albino, or you have albinism.
100% agree.
And I am just your average redheaded white girl from the middle of Oklahoma.
I don't think there's
You
anything
can't
average
jump in the
about
middle of the story and just start talking about albinism because people are going to be like, okay, that's nice. How does he get his expertise? Well, 'cause
This
they
is
can see you.
Tatenda.
Yeah, so that's a big. I mean, that's a good point. Right now, we're not talking about those stories per se, but people need to know the makeup of our family. So whether we do it today or we do it with the first serious episode that we want to talk about albinism, but I think it's worth mentioning. Nyasha did mention that. Was it Nyasha talking about the first day I met you that
Yes.
that I saw white red-headed girl from Moore, Oklahoma? So that at least she exposed that bit, but yeah, the
A
fact
young white and redheaded girl
yes,
from
young.
Oklahoma.
I also
We want to
added
talk about how
beautiful.
old we both were at the time.
How old were you, Mom?
I was 18.
Whoa, you are 35.
Bubba?
I was 26.
You're 8 years older than her?
7.5.
I might have been 25.
Oh yeah, that's real encouraging.
No. I was born in 1978, so
This
in
is
2004
Tatenda.
I was 26.
This is Tatenda.
Yes, Tatenda.
Yes, finally, I get to talk. Last time we went hiking with Grandpa.
Bubba said not to talk about this until we
No,
have a
it's
designed
okay.
episode.
It's okay. You can see. Yeah, so we're not one of these like broadcast podcasts like NPR has got so many podcasts, so they know what they're doing. We are just a family that's trying to have fun doing something creative. Right, today what we're doing is just putting our dreams and our visions on the table.
This is Tatenda.
Okay.
And I've got a
Visions
question. I
answered.
don't remember, but how long have we been preparing this?
So to get to where we are today, maybe 2 years. I'll look at when I created that website. Maybe 1.5 years to today, because I remember last year was when we started doing the website, but we haven't posted anything yet. But I think this year when we kind of talked about what we wanted to do as a family, my mind was really thinking seriously about doing a podcast. I've wanted to do it. I tried doing it with Scott, your uncle,
Oh yeah, that fell.
and
This is
okay. So and I have another segment that I want to introduce to our podcast. So I've been trying to come up with a clever way to say this, but for each podcast, I want a section that's called, for now in my mind, I'm calling it, "This is important to me," and I'm calling it tea time. I know it doesn't spell tea time, so tea. This is important to me. TIITM. I'm calling that tea time. So when we get to tea time, each person can go around. We can go around the table and which means you need to prepare for this before we get to the podcast, and you bring an idea of what you would like to discuss either briefly during the podcast or an idea for a later podcast. So when we get to tea time, then everybody can throw in their idea. Do you guys like the idea of tea time?
Yeah.
Or do you
No.
hate it?
No.
No.
So this is important to me, and then you tell us what it is,
Okay.
and you tell us
I
why.
haven't clicked the button again.
Okay, all right. So anybody else has anything they want to talk about tonight? Again, this is
Tea time.
round 2,
Tea time.
episode 1.
Yeah, we're talking about tea time.
Last
Wow.
time it failed because we forgot to incubate the chip.
The chip.
It was just a joke. I don't even know what the word means.
Format the chip. You forgot to format the chip.
What does that mean?
Incubating the tip.
What does that mean?
Incubating mean?
Incubating usually means to keep.
Our resident scientist is not connected to us right now.
I'm good at.
Our resident explainer of all things science. Because we're talking about incubating the chip.
What does that mean?
I'm not a doctor, but I do know that you don't incubate
You were
chips.
a nurse's aide.
So,
So
so
far
was
from
I.
a doctor.
Yeah, I was a nurse's aide too, but that should not give you any ideas.
If you incubate a chip, it's gonna explode.
We can talk about what type of people become nurses' aides.
Good
Yep,
idea. That's a good
That
idea.
is not important to me.
it
I
is
am
part of it is part of our life.
Baba?
It is part of our life. That's how we met. So it may not be important to you, but maybe without us being nurses' aides, you wouldn't be here.
Hey, Bubba.
I don't know. There, Panashe should be happy now.
I'm happy. Thank you.